This episode is proudly brought to you by the members of the You Run Podcast Network. All shows can be found at yourunpodcast.com. So go and find your new podcast addiction today.
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes he tells sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled.
I hate it here. 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 I hate it. Hate it here.
Hello and welcome to the one, the only, the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
My name is Marc.
And we are your hosts each and every Monday as we take you through movies that you've chosen in our Instagram polls. Today, I am not going to be nice. We are at the one episode from the end of Kate Rules month. And while Kate didn't pick this herself, this is a new release. So it went to Patreon for Patreon to decide. Kate jumped in and she was the first one to go, I want weapons. So Kate, as this is your month, I hold you solely responsible for the words that will come out of my mouth for the next hour. If you are new to the show, we give you a brief overview of the film. We then transition into our unfiltered opinions. We discuss the plot, specific scenes, things we liked, things we didn't. It is spoiler heavy. If you haven't seen it, we will ruin it for you. So if you want to go and see it, pause this episode, go watch it, come back, and then hear me complain. Later on, we're going to get your opinions as well. We're going to get your thoughts on the actual movie. We're going to be sharing some production facts to keep you cool and relevant at parties and playing the quiz that no one can beat. So much so that it went on social media, and now social media are trying. And next week, we're going to have a barrage of people attempting. So far, as of recording this right now, still no one's got it. We've got some people who've got close, but no one's got it all.
So are people actually calling in? Because I thought that was the thing. You have to call in and leave a message.
They are. I've turned comments off and they're calling in, but I'm saving them up and we're going to use them next week.
Cool.
Long and short of it, we've got a great episode lined up. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of laughs. I'm going to have a lot of moaning. But if you like horror movies and you like us, stick around. It's going to be good. Today, we look at what become of the Blair Witch and we comment on our 2025 blow up. We look at our ongoing obsession with kidnapping kids and our affinity for playing with sticks. We will undoubtedly talk about running like a toddler, the pressures of being a father, a teacher, and most importantly, when making a complex story that you ensure not to leave gaping big fucking plot holes. Kids go missing. There's a town in turmoil. We got Josh Brolin knocking around and Julia Garner, who perform far beyond the script they were given. Today is without a doubt going to be my biggest rant of 2025 as we dive into weapons.
I'm Stewie Griffin, and I'm going to be kicking my dad's ass all day today.
You see, I'm still recovering, mate, from my injuries, and I just don't know if I've got the patience for you tonight being like this.
There are things in this movie I really liked. There are things in this movie I really hated, got angry to the point I was like almost shouting at the screen. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. Zach Cregger done with this what he'd done with Barbarian. He tried to be a clever prick. And in trying to be a clever prick, just rubbed me the wrong way because he wasn't that clever. And I'd already kind of summed it all up and solved it before he went, look what I did. I'm like, yeah, I know what you did.
Yeah, I felt with this one.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I felt it was, I'd already worked out where it was going by the time we'd got there, which was kind of disappointing because I'm not awfully thrilled by the reveal in this movie. I thought it was very...
long legs.
I haven't seen Long Legs, but my problem with it is I really like the first 2 to 3 acts of this movie. I like the unknowing of what's going to happen. And the problem I always find with movies that do this kind of thing is 9, maybe 8 times out of 10. I always come up with something better in my own head as I'm trying to get to that point. And then by the time we get there and it's not as good as what I've already expected, I find it very underwhelming. And I found that to be the case with this movie.
Yeah, and I think with this one, it's important to explain the way this is presented. So you get a narrative story, but told through the eyes of different people. So you get it through Julia Garner, who's the teacher. You get it through Josh Brolin, who's one of the dads. You get it through a crack addict. You get it through the headmaster, the cop. You get it through the headmaster. You kind of get all these different perspectives, and then you finally get it through the eyes of the kid. And I didn't like it. Like I really liked.
I loved it.
Did you like the multiple narrative?
Yeah, I really loved it. I thought it was really, really clever. It's not original. We've seen it done before, but I think it does a very good job in this instance of because it is one of those mystery type movies where you're waiting to find out what the reveal is. Every time you get so much closer to getting to that point, it brings you back to the start, but it tells you it in a sort of slightly different perspective. And I found that really engaging. It held my attention very, very well. I was massively on board for the first probably 2/3 of this movie. And again, it's Barbarian all over again for me.
Yeah, see, I'm the other way. Like the first half of this movie, I found really slow. There's things that I want to highlight some of the good things. Like Julia Garner, when you first follow her story really genuinely had me hooked. Because when she was sat in that school hall and all the kids have run away and disappeared, and they're all demanding she goes and speaks, and she goes and speaks, I was just sat there going, I would have moved out of the town because I know exactly how yeah, but like I knew how the town would react, and it's the same way that any parent would react. All the kids were in your class. What happened in your class that made all these kids run away? Because it's the only link they have.
Yeah.
And I genuinely felt for it, and I did laugh my ass off when she went to the supermarket and she picked up one bottle of vodka, paused for a second, picked up another bottle and shoved it and like went to that cracked me up.
Yeah. But see, the thing is as well with that opening segment, one thing I want to massively applaud for this movie is the producers and the marketing campaign behind the trailers, because you have no idea from the trailer what this movie is about, what it's going to be about, what happens within the movie. And thankfully enough, everything you see in the trailer is presented to us within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And the next hour and 40 minutes from that point on, we have no idea where it's going, what it's about, and what's going to happen. And I just think it was really, really cleverly done. You know, I mean, we spoke about, not on the air because we haven't covered it, but we spoke about Companion a few weeks ago. Yeah. And how great that movie was, but how great it would have been had we not known going in what that twist reveal was going to be. Some of the conversations between characters and how they were presented, but then eventually finding out what we come to know as being AI robot systems. We don't find that out for like 30, 40 minutes into that movie, but we do because we've seen it all in the trailer, which is so disappointing. And thankfully, we don't have that with Weapons, or at least I didn't have that experience anyway. I managed to stay well clear of internet talk and spoilers and images. I had nothing. I literally knew nothing going in, and I had a really good experience with it because of that.
Yeah, I've said this before on the show. I don't really avoid spoilers. I tend to watch things fairly quickly. And if I haven't watched them quickly, it's because I'm genuinely not interested. And Weapons was one that didn't really grab my attention. Like I was slightly intrigued, but having known what he done with Barbarian, which was okay, I kind of thought this would just be okay. So I didn't avoid spoilers for it. And I kind of knew that we get, I don't know what she is, the weird witchy lady with the bad lipstick later. So I kind of knew where it was going, and I was fine with that. Like, I don't mind knowing the end because it's about the journey that it takes you through. I found where it switches narratives, like I was really invested in Julia Garner's character. Yeah. And I liked the story through her eyes, like when she's getting the knocks on the door and like she's won't open the door, but she's losing her temper, and then she fucking goes out with the like mace. Like, where the fuck are you? And there's no one there. And she finds her car's been graffitied. Like all of that, I'm fully on board. I loved her story.
I didn't like the jump scare in the fucking bed though.
No,
it was awful, man. It was really, really bad, and it really cheapened it. I didn't like it at all, and I was like, oh, why did you do that?
and like her story, I was really invested. I was really invested in Josh Brolin's story. I think
Mm.
both of their stories are. You could have picked either of those and told the movie from their standpoint, and I'd have been quite happy. I have issues with the jump scares. I have issues with the dreams. Like I'm going to bring it up. Like the fucking submachine gun floating above the house with 217.
I didn't get it.
No,
I don't get what it's trying to represent, and I don't get why the movie's called Weapons. I know the witch utilizes people as weapons when she's got the stick, but why the AK-47? I just didn't. I don't get that point of it.
See, I think I've done a little bit of digging. I think it's something to do with the people who voted against like a gun ban or gun control, and it was 217 people who voted against in Congress. And I
So
think
this
that's
is
something.
really a metaphor to do with school shootings and kids disappearing in school classrooms and guns and.
Zach Cregger has denied it, but I think when you look at it and you look at it, the guns there, all the kids are gone from the school apart from the lone survivor. Like it's very easy to draw comparisons with it.
I
And
see. I probably maybe would have got to that conclusion had I have been an American.
yeah, and I think had he lent into that, like if that was his message,
Yeah.
if he'd have really lent into it, I probably would have bought into it a little bit more. But it
See,
was
the thing
just
is,
like,
though, I mean, the message probably was there, but I think because he goes so, it's not light-hearted, but it's almost laughable, that sequence at the end, that you can't have such a serious topic matter to then have such a comedic final scene in a movie to be. I think that would have probably got him more stick. So
yeah,
maybe he's backpedaling for that reason.
the thing is though, there's comedic elements throughout this. Like the kids running away, like as a parent, that is your worst fucking nightmare.
Mm.
But actually watching them run away with their hands by their sides, doing almost like the Naruto fucking anime run across the lawns.
Yeah.
I laughed. Like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's explained later, but every time I saw someone running with their arms out and their head down, all I thought of was, do you remember when everyone invaded Area 51?
No.
So there was a big thing on the news, like there was a big
Oh, so
festival.
people have actually done that before?
No. They all went to do it. It was like Storm Area 51, and all the hundreds of thousands of people turned up. And there was a news reporter talking about Area 51. And this bloke runs behind him with his hands behind his back and his head down, like in a full anime run. Every time I saw these kids running, that's all I saw. And I just sat there and went,
Sonic the Hedgehog run.
exactly that. And like, especially Josh Brolin when he has the dream and his kid runs like up and over the field and just runs away and he starts chasing him like that. Just cracked me up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like that. I thought it was quite creepy. But again, like there's so many Brothers Grimm stuff on display here.
Yeah.
That is very much, if you read very old fairy tale stories and things like that, when they depict people running, the illustrations are usually drawn as such, which is what I kind of thought he was trying to do, was trying to represent with that style of running. And I think it's creepy. And I think the fact that they all do the same sort of run is a very eerie concept.
Yeah, and it works. Like I laughed at it because I had another reference for it, but it is genuinely creepy. Like the bit that Josh Brolin's getting up every morning and watching his kid run away again and again and again on his Ring doorbell camera, like that got to me.
Yeah, the obsessiveness of it, as you would as a parent. And I didn't. Oh, his wife's such a bitch, man. Like it's been a month. It's been a month and she's proper giving him a hard time for being obsessive over the situation. They've got no closure. There've been no bodies. The kids are still out there somewhere. They've all just upped and disappeared, all 22 of them or however many it was. Surely you would be obsessive about this situation. Even to the point where when I saw him getting up and going to work, I'm like, why the fuck are you going to your 9 to 5?
Well, it was her. She come in, he's sleeping in his kid's bed and she pokes her head and goes, I'm going to work, and slam the door. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, man. I was raging. I was like, oh my God. I would not be sleeping, let alone getting up and washing my hair to go to work.
No, I'm completely with you. Josh Brolin, what he needed to do was
a small price to pay for salvation.
and it would have sorted it all out. There are some really cool characters in this, and I'll give the film that. The writing of some of the characters is really good. I like the cop. I like the recovering alcoholic, and I like the fact that he's just a bit of a scumbag.
He is, and I found him really, really entertaining. I think his segment alone was where I got the most relaxed with the sort of run up, because his is very separate from everything else up until the point when he reaches the house. And they're constantly getting stabbed with the heroin needles, although not a very funny subject. Like the way it was handled, the way he just completely whams that crackhead. And then he sees his body cam and his car cam, and he's just having an absolute meltdown. And he picks him up. He's like, "Oh, you're all right, buddy. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We're going to forget this ever happened."
That cracked me up, because he's like, "Have you got anything in your pockets?" Blake's like, "No." He's like, "Nothing that's going to stick me." He's like, "No." Sticks his hand in, gets jabbed with a needle, and without hesitation just fucking flattens him.
Oh, Mike Tyson's him straight at the side of the head, man. I was like, wow, that was a punch.
And then he looks at his car and is like, "Oh, fuck. Fuck." The body cam disconnects it. And like, yeah, when he's waking you up, he's like, "Right, this is the deal. I'm going to take these I'm going to help you up. We're going to get the handcuffs off you. You're going to go and have a wonderful day. And I'm going to go, and we'll just call it even. It's like, you done me wrong. I done you wrong. Everyone's a winner." And the worst bit of it is, I can genuinely see an American cop doing that.
Oh, mate, I would do that if I was a cop. Mate, if I put my hand in a pocket and he was like, "No, there's nothing there," and I would have potentially getting HIV or some sort of anything, tetanus or I don't know, man, whatever diseases you get from dirty crackhead needles, I would be doing more than just giving him a slap around the head.
You'd have flattened him as well.
Oh, mate, I'd be thinking of ways to bury the body.
See, I think I'd have gone into massive panic mode, and it would have been interrogating him. "How many people have used this needle? Where did you get this needle? Do you have anything? Have you been tested? I'm taking you to a clinic. We're getting you tested right now." That's where my head would go.
When he gets stabbed with the 3 in the face, and he gets him in the car, and he's like, "Have you got AIDS?" He's like, "I don't think so." And he just accepts it. He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. "Have you got syphilis?" "Well, not last time I checked." "Oh, okay, that's fine." The thing is that after he gets stuck with the needle, he goes and fucks Julia Garner, and I'm like, "Oh man, you're a bad man."
Yeah, and knowingly as well, because he even had the conversation at the bar, and he's got his hand wrapped up, which again, very big bandage for a single tiny fucking prick on the finger.
Yeah.
And then he goes home with her. He goes home with her, sleeps with her, and I'm like, oh no, that's bad. Maybe because again, at this point, I had no idea where this story was going, and I thought that was maybe really relevant to what was happening, so I was paying close attention to it. But obviously, it never comes up again. But yeah, I was like, oh shit, maybe we're going down some sort of AIDS route with this. That's weird. Some sort of virus, some sort of transmissible virus. Yeah, never happened. But it was still cool to have it there in the first place.
Yeah, little things like that I thought were good. The crack addict, I think he is one of the best characters.
Yeah.
He does make me laugh, but purely because he's such a fucking moron. Like,
yes,
when he's trying, like, he's ringing his brother. He's like, "Oh yeah, well, I've got this job, but I need a suit for the job, and I've got no money to buy the suit. So like, I need to buy the suit. So you need to send me the money to buy the suit, so I can get the job and I can pay you and mum back." And then he's like trying all the door handles. And the one thing I thought was really good in this, so he finds that kid's tablet and headphones and everything else.
Yep.
I know why the pawnbroker wouldn't take it, and I thought it was really clever that they kept it true to life.
Because he thought it was stolen.
He thought it was stolen, but that wouldn't be his issue, because all the cutlery he knew full well was fucking stolen later.
Yeah, but the cutlery is not traceable.
Exactly. The tablet has got Wi-Fi, it's got detection, people know where it is, so that's why he wouldn't take it. And
I think that made me laugh the most about that in that house is when he's raiding it and he found all that stuff. Like, he found a box of like vintage games, and he was like, didn't know what they were because of his age. I was like, dude, like, that is worth more than anything in this house. Take that box of video games.
When he gets in the house, though, like, the parents, like, that would freak. I wouldn't carry on searching after I'd found them.
No.
Like, he turns around and he's like, "Hello?" They do anything. He's like right in their face going, and nothing. I'd be gone.
But again, I don't understand how you cannot enjoy this first half of this movie, because again, you've seen spoilers, so you knew where it was going. For me, I didn't know anything, so I'm like, oh, dead people in the house, and then I saw him get up off the sofa, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck's this? Zombies! We've got zombies! You know, so my mind was just constantly going all over the place with this movie, with every slight little discrepancy to normality. And I was like, oh, what's this? Why is this doing this? How's this going to make this relevant to that? And you know, and I think you said you did yourself a disservice, mate, by sort of looking into this film, I think.
Yeah, I think the problem I found with the first half is I found it very, very slow. I found it very, very boring. And as much as I was invested in the story of Julia Garner and the story of Josh Brolin, the chopping between them and the chopping then to the cop who I didn't give a fuck about, and then to the crack addict again I didn't give a fuck about. I found it like I was every time they changed, I become less invested in the story. And I'll talk about it briefly now. Everything that's told through a character's eye is through their point of view. So every single viewpoint you get is from an unreliable narrator. So when you see, for example, in the bar, I'll use the bar as an example. You see it through Julia Garner's eyes. The guy comes in, he sits down at the bar, they have a drink, they go, they leave, they have sex. When you see it from his point of view, she jumps up and runs over to him.
Yeah,
and it's a
that was the
completely
only
different.
one I noticed.
There was that one. There was also one with the Supreme Sorcerer Wong attacking her. That was viewed differently from Josh Brolin than it was from Jennifer Garner. They had different viewpoints of that as well, and like it irritated me because I don't want to see different versions of a lie. I want to know what happened. And in this movie, there's nothing I can categorically say is fact, because every time I've seen it through
Nah,
someone
that's a
else's
leap,
eyes,
man.
it's different.
That is a leap. That is a massive leap because the structural narrative of the story is still consistent throughout. It's a minor inconsistencies of variables in memory, stuff like her getting out from the sea. If you was asked to present that in a court, little things like that would be remembered differently from person to person, which I think was done really well and highlighted very well in the way that the story was told. Had there been massive inconsistencies with the story itself, I would have probably had the same opinion as you. But I just think that the stuff that was highlighted with slight changes only amplified the fact that it is a personal diary entry, if you will, to each person's viewpoint of the story. You know, as opposed to retreading, like I didn't pick up on it until we got to that scene where you saw it from the cop's viewpoint, and then they replayed that scene again, and it was slightly different, and I picked up on it then, and I was like, oh, right, okay, it's a memory of each individual's account of the situation. And then I don't know, I was just really applauding of it. I just thought it was really clever to include something like that because it is how it would work in real life. If you was in a court and you was battling and each person was presenting evidence on the situation, there would be those minor discrepancies, and there would be only the minor discrepancies and not the factual elements of the story. So to say that you find the whole thing an unbased lie is a bit of a stretch, in my opinion. I just don't think that's the case.
It's all unreliable narrators, so I can't tell you whose version is correct. There is no correct version.
Things. No, there is. They're all correct versions because everything in the story is consistently true. All of the main points of the story are right, but it's just a case of when she runs into the liquor store, she runs left, and then in his viewpoint, she runs right, for instance. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm just saying it's little things like that. But he still turns up, he still does his bit, he still goes crazy, he still smashes the petrol pump up, and Josh Brolin still takes him out. The same with the cop. They still go to the bar, they still have a similar conversation, and they still go back to each other's room and sleep with each other. That all happened. There's no denying that. That is a fact of the situation because you've got two reliable sources telling us the same story. There's just inconsistencies in little bits that don't really matter in terms of a court of law.
And it rubbed me. I don't know why. There was something about it that rubbed me the wrong way, and it was really irritating me. And after I spotted the first one, I was really intent on finding more to see if it. I'll be honest. I was looking to see if it was just bad directing or it was deliberate, and it's definitely deliberate. Let's talk about when the wheels really fall off. Let's talk about Gladys.
I hate Gladys. I hate the look, the design of Gladys. I fucking hated it, man. I hate it on such a passionate level to the point where I just don't get what movies are doing these days with villains in horror movies. where they glorify them up in rainbow colors and elaborate costume designs. Like, I would have really bought into this story, which I did buy into this story massively in the first 2 acts. But when it got to the reveal, the whole elaborate cartoonish nature of her character really underwhelmed this story for me. Had she been a really, and I know we get that, we do get it, we do get that disheveled hocus pocus style witch, come little
But
children, I'll take thee away. But the
but now
introduction of
but we only get that evil, nasty, horrible witch through the eyes of one narrator who is the child. Everyone else who narrates Gladys does not see her like that. They see her as the aunt with the hair, with the makeup. So again, it's a fucking plot hole. Which one is she? Is she the nasty witch? Because I only see it through the boy's eyes. And I know for a fact he can't be trusted as a reliable narrator. And then everyone else sees her as the ginger wig, the red lipstick, the colourful clothes. Like, which one is she? And
I think she's
again,
both. I think she's both, and I think both of them's reliable because she is disgustingly overly done when she's in appearance of normalized people. When she first turns up at the school, the wig is ridiculous. The makeup's so elaborate, and it's clearly hiding the fact that she's aging. You know, and I think when we see it from the kid's point of view, Alex, I think his name might be,
yeah.
that is when she's at home and she's not got the wig on and she's disheveled. And I think that's my take on the situation. I don't think it's necessarily a plot hole because I think when she's going out, because she hasn't got the souls of the children to rejuvenate herself, she has to hide it with wigs and elaborate costumes and all the rest of it to make herself passable. But for me, the elaborateness of it didn't need to be.
No, it didn't. And I mocked at the beginning of this episode saying she is the Blair Witch. She is. She controls people with sticks. It's the same thing. She scares the life out of people with stick and makes them run around like idiots. It's the Blair Witch. But with the stick, the powers of her magic don't necessarily make sense. So she uses the stick to get all the kids to come to her basement where she can, I'm assuming, draw power from them.
Yeah,
She then
it's come little children, I'll take thee away. So Zach Cregger's watched Hocus Pocus growing up, and that's what he's used to make this movie.
Yeah, but then she could use the powers of the stick to make people attack each other as well. So she can wrap someone's hair around it, prick her finger, snap the stick, and then they attack. She shows it with the parents at the beginning. The bit with the forks was quite cool, where the parents stab each other.
Brutal, man. Yeah.
Yeah, really rough. But she can do that. But what I don't understand is when her spell is broken, and we'll get to how it's broken later, all of the people that were under her control snap back to normal, apart from the kids. Doesn't make sense. Why not? Why don't the kids come back to normal? Why are all the adults fine, but the kids are still fucking zombies?
Because the way I perceived it was these events have all happened in the space of a month. So the kids disappeared for a month. So they've been sat in this basement under the entrancement of this witch for an entire month. Everybody else has been within a moment of weeks and hours. So therefore, the longevity of the hypnosis hasn't quite done as much severe damage to their mental capacity as what it would have done to the children. And at the end, the narrator explains how some of the children had started talking again after a couple of months. So they're starting to come around. But my perception of it is that because they'd been in there for a month before even the events of the film started even kicking off, was the severe brain damage they'd endured from being under this spell.
Yeah, don't get me started on the narrator. I've got issues with the narrators. You and me have both said this before. Don't tell me, show me. Don't write it down, show me. The end of the movie, yeah, some of the kids are talking now. Fucking just show me a little montage of fade in, fade out scenes with kids who are like learning how to write again and like talking. Don't just give me a narration over.
I know what you're saying. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it here at all.
I hated the opening. The opening of this was like, I'm going to tell you a story, and it starts with all the kids running away. Like, I don't care. Don't tell me.
I think Josh Brolin should have narrated it.
I think if they're going to narrate it, get some like Josh Brolin would have been great, but there's no need to narrate it because they narrate it as they show me. I'm not stupid.
They don't have dialogue, do they, in the opening segment? So it is basically a run through of what's going on. But I think it should have either whoever we started and ended with in terms of the storytelling point. The first one was the teacher, so she should have been the one to open the dialogue at the beginning,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And then we finished with the kid, so we should have had the kid to be the one to close a dialogue at the end, which would have worked better, in my opinion, as it's supposed to just be in a child's voice at the beginning and the end. And we don't know who that child's voice is. We don't know if that's Alex or if it's just a kid. We have no idea. Well, it can't be Alex because he even says in the opening segment that it tells a full story and all the class of his members disappeared apart from one kid, Alex, blah, 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 blah. And he doesn't talk about himself in third person. So we just have the fact that Zach Cregger's thinking, oh, we'll get a kid to do it. It'll sound creepy as shit.
Yeah, and the kid goes through a hell of a lot in this movie. And I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like the fact that firstly, he's the only kid left. I didn't like the fact that Julia Garner's like almost stalking him to try and talk to him. That annoyed me. I didn't like the fact that I see him go through all these horrific things and basically he's got to feed his parents with the soup and the aunt's a fucking arsehole to him. And then he goes to school and he can't tell anyone. And I know it's an allegory for like real domestic violence on children and it's fucking awful. But I don't want to see that in a horror movie. Like, that's not what I want a horror movie to do. Same as I don't want horror movies to do sexual assault. Like, had I known that going in, we probably wouldn't have covered this because I probably wouldn't have pulled it. Because I don't want to see it.
Man. I disagree. I get it. I do get it. I think it's absolutely horrific, but I didn't find it to the point of this is seeing some helpless woman getting raped, which I find really distasteful. Like it served a purpose for me. And as I always mention when we cover movies that do feature rape, if it serves a purpose to the story and it's relevant and it's not just there for the sake of shock, I find it usually gets a pass. And I think for me in this sense, it was horrendous and it was horrific. And I just felt nothing but pure upset watching this poor child go through the horrendous stuff that he's going through. And then the complete manipulation of Gladys of him as a young boy was awful. But to see him get that resolution at the end kind of paid it off for me a little bit.
It paid it off, but it paid it off in the most goofy, slapstick, stupid fucking way. When he gets the stick, like you've got Josh Brolin fighting with the cop who's under her spell. And like that, that was quite funny. Like he knocks the cop down and the cop just keeps getting up. Like I thought that was funny. Yeah. Then you've got Julia Garner's fucking who's Julia? No, Julia Garner's fighting.
Julia Garner's doing the cop because she kills him. She shoots him.
Who's Josh Brolin fighting?
He's fighting the crackhead.
The crackhead. So yeah, like he knocks the crackhead down about 1 million times. Like all of that I thought was really funny. Kid gets the stick, snaps the stick, and sets the kids loose.
How does a witch get Josh Brolin's hair?
No idea.
Because he becomes
zombified, but at no point did she get
I think
his hair.
I think she does. I think at some point when he's knocked out, she comes in and gets his hair. I'm sure she does.
I know she gets the teachers when she's asleep in her car.
When she's asleep in her car. She gets his when he's in the house. I'm pretty sure I would have picked up on it straight away had it not. I'm pretty sure she gets his hair. I'm sure there's a scene that shows it. Call in and let us know because I don't plan on rewatching this, but I'm pretty sure she does get his hair in that scene, and that's when he then starts attacking Julia Garner.
Yeah, and I understand how the magic works. Wrap the hair, snap the stick, they do their thing. The kid wraps a wig around the stick. He does. It's not hair. It's a fucking wig. But when he snaps the stick, he releases Land of the Dead style child zombies who run through doors, walls, glass, fucking everything, don't get a scratch on them, and then literally tear her limb from limb. It was stupid.
It was very stupid. I liked it, but in the context of this movie, it was fucking stupid.
The problem is he tried to build tension, and I didn't find anything in this tense. And he tried to build sort of a level of overbrooding fear, but that didn't work because I saw the villain, and the villain was a goofy little old lady and a dodgy. She looked like Edna Mole from The Incredibles with red hair. Like she didn't scare me. So there's no fear. There was no tension. And then when they unleashed the Kraken of fucking 19 kids and they were jumping through windows, it was ridiculous. Like, it was so stupid. And the fact that there's a bit where she runs through a house, she pushes the door open, runs through, pushes the other door open. The kids come through, smash 5 windows, fucking send sofas flying and tables and chairs and people and smash out the other side of the house. I'm like, why? Why have you done this? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, I mean, it does in a way.
It doesn't.
It does, because you're always getting that.
How can they're little kids, but they can go through a double pane fucking sheet of glass and out the other side without a mark on them? Bullshit. It's shit. It's stupid.
Yeah, from that, yeah. All right, yeah. That part of it's stupid. I mean, I get what he was trying to do, is what I'm trying to say. Is I understand the direction he was trying to take it in, but yeah, you're right. It's stupid, but I found all of this to be stupid upon the release, upon the reveal.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of witches. I'm not a big fan of supernatural stuff in that sense. I'm not a big fan of religious cultist kind of things. And I always find witches kind of shit. We spoke about this numerous times. I wasn't that big fan of the witch. You know, it doesn't do anything for me because I just can't buy into it. And I was really disappointed because of how much I liked the first half of this movie, that when we got to it, I was just so deflated by it, man. And there was so much cool stuff going on as well, and so much great build up to it. Like, the stuff with the parents was fantastic in the house. I really liked what was going on with those. And I kind of did like some of the elements of what was going on with her ability to control things and the reasoning behind it. It all made sense. Everything came full circle and had a perfect beginning, middle, and end in that sense. But I just feel like he pigeonholed such a mass percentage of his audiences by going down this route with the final act. Like,
he barbarianed it.
He barbarianed it again, man, and I just don't know why he does it time and time again. And it makes me so nervous that he's doing the Resident Evil movie, because you know how much I love Resident Evil.
Resident Evil is going to be full of tension, and at the end, he's going to barbarian it.
I watched an interview with him the other day, and he was talking about Resident Evil, and he said, "Look, I'm a massive, massive fan of the games. This is my love letter to the games that I grew up on. But it's not going to feature any characters from the games, and it's not going to be like anything you've seen before." I'm like, so what is it? What are you actually planning on doing? Because everything you've done so far, albeit you're a great director, you're a fucking fantastic director. Everything you do looks brilliant, and you're great with the first half of your writing, but you Stephen King your stuff every single fucking time you make a movie. And I'm worried he's going to do the same thing again.
He's like Rob Zombie. He's a great director, but he needs a fucking writer. He needs someone to stand there and go, look, I know you've got the goofy witch. Like, maybe let's not do the goofy witch and just keep her like a normal aunt and just show the witchy stuff as a normal person. We don't need to make her like a caricature like Longlegs is. We don't need that. That doesn't work. We don't need the kids with fucking super abilities who can run through walls and like not have a mark on them. We don't need the scene at the end where they literally pin her down and they sever her head, but from the jaw. Because I have children around the age of these kids. I'm pretty sure that the 19 kids could not sever my head from the jaw and break the spine and drag my head across the lawn like fucking Scorpion in Mortal Kombat. It just wouldn't happen.
No, and I mean, to be honest with you, I think you're reaching with that. I know what you're saying biologically, but then again, we're dealing with witches, you know, and we're dealing with spells, and we're dealing with the abilities that they're being presented with. You don't know what that kind of shit does to them. But yeah, if you get to the point that a full-grown man, Wong, for instance, couldn't even take out poor little blonde Julia Gardner, but then a child could rip up a full adult's head, you are contradicting yourself in terms of abilities within the movie.
I want to talk about Wong because I think the actor who plays Wong, and I don't know his name, so he's going to be forever Wong. He is fucking incredible in this. I think he's great as the principal. He's great as that. Look, I know you want to talk to the kid, but you need to fucking stop and you need to take some time off because the whole town wants to lynch you. Like, go home, rest. Like, we'll pay you. Just don't be a dick. And then she's constantly on his case. Like the scene where he's shopping with his husband, and he's just like telling her what he's like. Yeah, I'll have a face to face with the family. Like, will that make you happy? And he's like, yeah, I want those cereal. Yeah, those ones. Yeah, put those in the basket. Like, that's great. And then when he snaps, I thought that was great. And do you know what I loved the most about when he snaps and he's covered in blood and he's got his eyes bulging out? Because Mickey Mouse is now public domain, he was wearing a Mickey Mouse t-shirt and it made me happy.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, he's wearing a Steamboat. It's the mouse from Steamboat Willie, the one that's public domain, full shot, covered in blood, choking a lady with Mickey Mouse looking down at her.
That was done intentionally.
That's how you use public domain property.
Yeah.
You don't make a brand new movie where Mickey Mouse is a serial killer. You just put it into your incredibly violent scene. And as a woman is choked to death, she watches Mickey Mouse going back at her.
Yeah, I do like that. That's pretty cool. I didn't pick up on that at all, to be honest with you. Why was his eyes bulging?
I think it's partly with the fact he got his head beaten in. Like, maybe that's something to do with it.
Why? Who beat his head in?
Gladys smashed his face off the floor about 100 times before she took power over him. Or she got his husband to. I can't remember which way around it was.
No, the husband was possessed.
He had his head smashed off the floor loads of time, and I can't remember where it was in the film, but I thought that was what made his eyes bulge.
No. He doesn't get his head smashed in. He literally just snaps. She snaps a stick, and he immediately just kills his husband. I might be wrong, but I don't think he does.
Yeah, I watched this once, and normally with new releases, I'll dive in couple of times. I watched this once. I was like, nope.
I'm the same. I won't watch this again, but I really did enjoy what I saw. I was just underwhelmed by the end, but I kind of came to expect it at this point, you know, with Cregger. Yeah, going into it, I had the Barbarian in the back of my mind, and I was like, I just had this niggling feeling he was going to do it again. But yeah, I don't know. The thing is with Barbarian, though, Barbarian was very successful. It was widely loved.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just replicated that again. He's like, oh, people like that. I can do that again. But this time I'm going to do it with a witch. And again, and as much as I glorified the marketing campaign for leading us down a garden path with something that was revealed within the first 5 minutes of the movie, it also led us to believe that this movie was something completely different to what it actually was.
Yeah, it sold this as a dark, scary story about kids that disappeared with no explanation.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I'm going down the Prisoners route, the Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal Prisoners kind of movie route, and I was well for that, you know, which is why when we got to the fucking witches, I was like, no, not again.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. Is there anything else you want to talk about on this before we dive into recommended account?
The score for this was something that really stood out for me, and I was really pleasantly surprised to learn that Zach Cregger composed this score himself, which was quite enlightening, really, because I do really like Cregger. I think he's a great director, and to find that he's a great composer as well is even better, because I think the musical score for this is very reminiscent of the earlier Universal Monsters movie kind of stuff, the whole Dracula, ominous sound cues, and they're used flawlessly in this film to build tension. You don't get the generic score that you get through every single scene, whether it be a happy scene, bad scene. You just get it in times of importance. Yeah. And it was really well done here. So if anything, I want to applaud Cregger for his fantastical musical cues in this, because they were flawless. They really were flawless from start to finish. To the point where, like, halfway through, I was like, fuck, man, like, whoever did the score for this has done an amazing job, and they've utilized them very well throughout scenes. And then I Googled it and found out Cregger did it all himself. I was like, wow, okay, I like you more and more every single time I learn more about you, but I also hate you at the same time.
Yeah, I think the way forward is to get Cregger, King, and Zombie together, lock them in a room and see what they come up with.
It would just have a film that never ends.
They can all have a stab at finishing it off, because none of them can end a movie.
No, that's the problem, you know. Like, I don't know. I mean, he ends it, and he ends it successfully, and he ends it with complete closure. And I think he did the same with Barbarian as well, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, he did.
He did end it well. He just fluffs the final hurdle, man, every time for me.
Do you know my question with all movies like this? Like, this ends with Josh Brolin and Jennifer Garner. There's people dead in the house. All the kids have been found. There's fucking houses demolished. There's blood everywhere. How do you explain that when the police arrive? Yes,
I don't know.
my children did sever an old lady limb from limb with their bare hands.
But she
I'm
was
really
a witch.
sorry. But she was a witch. Also, yes, I did kill a cop, and Jennifer Garner did kill a crack addict, or the other way around, in the house. But they were possessed by like the police are going to be like, fuck off.
Do you know what the greatest movie to ever deal with that situation is?
What?
Child's Play 2.
Oh yeah, it's just straight to the mental institute.
Straight to the mental institute, straight to foster care. There's no such thing as a living doll, you set of losers.
Exactly that. And like the fact that they're now talking about doing a prequel that focuses all on Gladys, no,
no chance. I saw that news article not so long ago, but I saw that before I watched the movie. I had no idea who Gladys was, and it literally just popped up in my timeline, and I scrolled past. And I didn't even realize it was related to weapons, because I didn't know Gladys was even a thing in this movie. But then as the movie was going on, I pieced it together in my mind. I was like, oh yeah, I saw an article saying she was getting some sort of conjuring treatment. Yeah, I'm not on board for that. I don't want it. I don't need it. And I certainly won't be seeing it.
No, I agree. Well, let's get you to do your recommended account. Let's give you a sound effect. What shall we give you? We'll give you a longer one. I'll give you this one.
No, what? I was going to say, that's the shortest one you've ever done.
Right, hold on.
Sorry, yeah, I'm ready. Right, so this week's recommended account is Eric_Schmidt on Instagram. His bio says that he's a film director based in Berlin. I can't tell you if I've actually seen the movie that he's made. But the reason why I'm bringing his account to attention today is because his account is one of the funniest Instagram accounts I have seen on Instagram. It's not because he's a small account, because he certainly doesn't need the recognition. He's a fairly large account on Instagram, but it is so entertaining. Imagine when you were a little boy or a little girl, you get to you do things where you'd think you had superpowers. You'd think you were like Matilda. You could time traffic lights.
Yeah.
I'm going to change it with my mind, but really it was just on every 5-second intervals.
Yeah.
But you thought you were amazing for doing so. It's kind of like that, but not like that. So what he does is he films real world situations, but then intertwines his hands into them as he's doing it. So as he's at a traffic jam, he'll get cars and he'll push them along. I mean, the cars are just moving in normal traffic jams, but he's playing with toy cars as he's filming it and using his hand to help people shimmy across the road. There's one of them which really stood out to me where he's filming some telephone pylons and he's got the strings and the blowing in the wind, and he'll play a Red Hot Chili Peppers intro over it, and he'll start.
I saw it. I saw it
on my story a couple of days ago. Man. It is honestly, I've lost hours just going through his shit on Instagram. He's so creative with some of the stuff he did. One of the ones was boats coming down the canal in Venice, and he's there ushering them through with his hands as they're sort of floating down. And mate, honestly, it's so entertaining, and it's such a clever account to be in real world situations and just inject a childlike nature to it. When you have them. One of the greatest carpets ever made in humanity, I think, is those carpets where it had roundabouts and car roads on it.
Yeah.
And shit. It's like that, but just real world stuff, man. It's really clever. So go and check him out on Instagram. It's Eric_Schmidt. And as always, let him know the You Run Podcast sent you there. Give him a like, give him a follow, and send him our best.
We all love an anniversary. We all love a big celebration of a big event, which is why you should go and listen to Release Date Rewind, because that's exactly what they do. They find movies that are celebrating 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th anniversaries, and then talk about those movies and go back into the history and how they've become beloved, iconic movies. And they do every single genre of film as well. So go and check out Release Date Rewind. Also, if you are a nostalgia whore like me and you like anything from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, even some stuff that is really, really prevalent in pop culture today, then you need Pop Culture Reflections podcast. This is a show that dives into everything pop culture, be it films, TV, professional wrestling, music, you name it, they cover it. So that's Pop Culture Reflections podcast. And you can check out both of these shows, so that's Release Date Rewind and Pop Culture Reflections podcast on the You Run Podcast Network at yourunpodcast.com. So go and do that now, and back to the show.
Thanks, Scott.
No worries. Please go and follow Mark's recommended account. Say hi from us here at the You Run Podcast. Check out yourunpodcast.com where you can find all the members of the You Run Podcast Network. There's 20 shows now, plus our show. So there's a whole host of stuff on there to keep you entertained. You'll also find links to our social media, including Instagram, where you'll find Mark. He is at Reviews from the Crypt, where he reviews movies that we haven't covered here. So you get to hear his thoughts on lots of other things as well. Also VHS from the Crypt, where he will display a collection of VHS that will make you feel inferior regardless of how big your collection is. It's one of those. And between you and me, we'll talk about it when we're off the air. But next to me, I have 5 boxes of VHS.
Oh,
that
yes,
are
you told me you were picking these up.
Yeah, there's some gems in there, but we'll talk about that off air. If you want to support the show, you can. Go to patreon.com/You Run Podcast, where you can become a Patreon member. You get early access to episodes that have no ads in them, so you won't hear this. They also have, we've got additional content. We've got an extra show called You Run Extra. We have, pretty much everything you could possibly desire there. It's like behind the scenes and more, because you get loads of extra stuff too. You can do free stuff as well. So you can go and support the show by telling a friend about it, share it on social media, leave us a 5-star review, comment on Spotify or YouTube, or join Patreon free, because there's a free option as well where you get 1 episode a week for absolutely nothing. Let's dive into some facts. Netflix was willing to pay twice, double what they thought this would take at the box office to get this as a Netflix exclusive. And Cregger turned them down, or New Line Cinema turned them down, because they thought they had a better chance of making this a success with a theatrical release. Thoughts?
I always think if it goes to Netflix, it's because it's not good enough for cinema, which I don't think seems to be the case anymore. I don't know how the analytics work on Netflix in terms of profit. Like, I don't understand, because people pay for a monthly subscription. So once you pay your monthly subscription, it's free. You know what I mean? You get the movie. So the amount of times you watch it doesn't affect the amount of money they're getting in return for it. The only way that they would make additional money, I might be massively wrong, would be by having a movie that would introduce new subscribers to Netflix. But by now, everybody pays for Netflix anyway. So I don't understand the return profit margin situation that Netflix has going on, that they're willing to pay vast amounts of money for movies to go straight to their platform. For me, when I see something pop up on Netflix, I think, oh, well, you didn't make the cut for cinema.
Yeah. That's where my head is. Well, it's not the case, because Netflix
I don't know. I'm sure it's not.
Do some really cool stuff. And I think the way it works for Netflix is Netflix pay you a set amount of money for a set period of time on their platform. So it's like, we're going to have your movie for a year. This is how much we'll pay you. And it's where the directors or producers decide, well, do we think we can make that at the box office, or should we sell it straight to Netflix and then we guarantee we make back X amount of money?
Yeah, but then they're never going to get... Do you know what I mean? You're selling it then. You're selling the movie for a set price.
For a set period of time.
Yeah, but then after that point, you're not going to go and re-release it on cinemas. You could probably just ship it around to other streaming services such as Shudder and Prime and things like that. So you're going to make more money that way. But at the end of the day, if you release it in cinemas, you're then going to soon sell it to Netflix and stuff eventually anyway. But probably not for a higher price, because people have already seen it in the cinema. So therefore, rewatchability on streaming services. Yeah, I get it. But again, my point is people pay for a monthly subscription service So to spend vast amounts of money on something, is it to keep people subscribing, or is it?
Yeah, it's to keep people subscribing and, if possible, get new subscribers. So this had a big advertising campaign behind it, which they'd already budgeted out of their own money. So if it was going straight to Netflix, it would be available on Netflix at this date. And lots of horror fans, if anyone didn't have a subscription, they would then subscribe to see this movie. If they're a fan of Barbarian, they'd then go, oh, I need to see this. It's the same as when they signed like WWE and UFC and all these other big entities. It's to draw people in and retain people they've got and stop them going to Prime and HBO and everywhere else. So, yeah, there's money in it. But yeah, I'm the same as you. If I see something on Netflix, I'm like, yeah, wasn't good enough for the cinema. I'll watch it anyway.
I need to tighten up my subscription services, man. I've got fucking loads of shit. You've got a hell of a lot more than I have, but I know I've got. What have I got? I've got Netflix. I've got Prime. I've got Shudder. Shudder's all right. Shudder's probably the best out there. That cost me £39 a year.
Yeah,
and I think it's fantastic value for money. But Netflix have put theirs up. I think they're charging me £18.99 a month at the moment. And Prime, I pay £100 a year, but I only pay that because I get Prime delivery. That's the only reason. And the channel is just a fucking courtesy of paying that subscription for the delivery service.
yeah, I'm the same. And the thing is, I've gone down a rabbit warren now of subscribing to lots of weird and wonderful. So I've got Miami Fox streaming. I've got Found TV. I've got fucking loads. I dread to think how much I spend a month.
But that's the thing. I was tightening up on budgets and shit the other week, and I was just out of curiosity, man. Do you know what I mean? Because like everything's going up, gas, electric, water here in the UK. Prices are ridiculous, and I was like doing a little tally survey of what I have going out and trying to not budget, but just be more aware of, more mindful of my money situation. And I was just seeing the streaming services pop up, and I'm like, fuck, man, like I've got Netflix and I pay £20 a month for it, sir, and all I do is watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Stranger Things.
I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine and I rewatch Stranger Things once every 2 months. That is literally it. I'm like, should I just go out and buy the box set of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and the box set of Stranger Things so I don't have to pay £20 a month?
Yeah, you'd save a fortune. Going back to facts, just like Barbarian, Zach Cregger claimed that he did not have a full premise when he set out. He said
shit.
he like exactly. He says he likes to work in a way where he has a basic idea and then works out the rest of the plot as he goes along. In his words, I didn't have an outline. I didn't know what it was about. I just like the movie showing itself to me. I like to watch the movie as I'm writing it. No.
I wonder if Stanley Kubrick ever did anything like that.
I'm pretty sure he didn't. Or John Carpenter, or Wes Craven, or
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, Stephen King did, but Stephen King watched the movie because he was so high on coke. He was living it as he wrote it. This film is a combination of two Brothers Grimm tales, one being the Pied Piper of Hamelin and the other one being Hansel and Gretel. It is the leading of the children and then effectively feeding them and keeping them alive to grow strong, which, yeah, is what she makes the poor boy do.
I will never eat chicken noodle soup again as long as I live.
Do you know, when he was feeding this, like, I felt so sorry for him when he's opening the cans of soup, and I'm like he couldn't open it, and like the first time he'd done it, he spilt it on the floor, and I'm like, this is fucking awful. Like, it's so horrible to watch. And the worst thing is, I know there are children in the world who've got parents who might have drug addictions or alcohol problems who actually live this, and it's fucking awful, genuinely awful. Gladys's magic is inspired by blood magic, aka dark magic, which is said to corrupt the bodies of those who use it, which is why her body is corroding and falling down. She uses dark magic. It's like the Craft. You get back threefold what you do. So if you're an arsehole, you get it back, and black magic or blood magic is like that.
Right.
In Josh Brolin's son bedroom, there is a poster for Mad Max Fury Road, which has a scene in that where an elderly person is ripped limb by limb from children, foreshadowing the end of the movie. And I'll be honest, that's all I found in facts, because we covered most of the others. We covered the multiple different versions of everything. We covered everything else. We covered the Gladys prequel that no one's going to watch.
No, do you know what the thing is that's worrying about it is people love this movie, and I don't blame them for loving it. I get it. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I'm just not that dense.
I don't even think it's that. Like, we've said it so many times, film is subjective. And like this film, for certain people, Lisa watched this with me. Lisa loved it. She loved all the characters. She loved the story, and it vibed with her. I sat there honestly with a face like fucking thunder going, why is everyone saying this is great? I don't understand it. And like, we didn't speak while we were watching the film. Lisa's really good. She won't be like, oh, what's this? What's that? Do you know about this? She just watches it. And at the end, I go, what do you think of that? She went, that was amazing. And I literally went, oh. I rubbed my hand, like lifted my glasses, like I'm gonna go and sit in another room because I can't talk to you now if you really liked it. She's like, no, I really enjoyed it. And then she told me all the reasons why. And I'm like, yeah, you liked literally everything you loved is the bits that I hated.
But again, like I said to you before, man, I was really surprised at your opinions on it, because when I was watching it, I was like, fuck, Scott's going to absolutely love this. And as much as I enjoy it for what it is, I know I'm going to spend the episode trying to fucking rein him in.
And it's been the other way around.
It's been completely the other way around.
Yeah. We have a couple of voicemails, so we're going to get those played. We have a voicemail from the wonderful Becky. This Girl Loves Horror, or one half of the Girl and the Gay podcast.
Hi, guys. I've just been listening to your Blair Witch Project episode. I absolutely love this film. This film is probably one of my most memorable cinema experiences, because when I would have been 13 at the time, and as Scott was saying in the episode, everybody thought this was real. So I went in watching this thinking, like, this really happened. As young teens, absolutely crapped ourselves. My auntie had taken us to see it as well. She was literally screaming in the cinema, and I remember driving home, obviously not me driving, but we were going through, we had to pass through like a foresty area on the way back, and I just remember I was scared of woods anyway because of issues with Evil Dead when I was far too young. But yeah, I just remember looking into the darkness and so scared. Brilliant experience, and I agree, if you didn't get to live through that, I don't think you can really ever gonna appreciate the film watching it now. But brilliant episode, brought back lots of memories. Thank you. And Mark, I wasn't picking on your films, because all of those films that I mentioned I like, so nah.
So, nah.
I need to stop making enemies on this show. I really do.
Speaking of enemies, we have a message from Heather.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
No, it's not for you. It's not for me.
Oh,
it's for our listeners.
Oh, we got a break.
You're all in trouble now. All of you, we're fine. You're all fucked. Here we go.
Hey y'all, it's Heather with Wednesday Wine and Horror, also the co-host of the You Run podcast, True Crime, and I have some titillating news to give you guys. We're fucking back, bitches. I am super excited to announce that True Crime is in full effect. New episodes will be coming out soon. Can't tell you when exactly, but I can give you a little bit of a spoiler, a little teaser. Our next case will be Samuel Little, a little American serial killer. He may be a little unknown to most people, but if you're a real true crime slut, you'll totally know who he is. Super excited to record and get back into the flow of things with my good pal Scott. And yeah, until next time, stay safe and stay spooky. See you guys soon. Bye.
I hope she's fucking paying for that advert.
We are back with True Crime. I like the fact she says Samuel Little, not many people know. Not many people do know him, but he is officially America's most prolific serial killer.
Ah, interesting.
Over 60 murders, confessed 93. He was convicted of 9. They verified 60 of the 93 he confessed, and they're still working on the rest.
The Bay Harbor Butcher.
He makes the Bay Harbor Butcher look like fucking, I don't know, look like Martha Stewart. So yeah, True Crime is coming back. Details will follow shortly. And at the end of this episode, you are going to hear the brand new outro for True Crime, just to wet your whistle and make you all excited. We asked you your opinions on this. We do it with new releases. We don't do a caption this or anything. We just say, did you like it? And we got a real mixed bag, like a real mixed bag. And it surprised me. So Dewey Pod Monster, I fully validate everything he says here. Needs more werewolves.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that comment. I saw it on Instagram. I didn't get it. What?
But it just needs something fucking more than it had, like a werewolf, a zombie, like anything. Anything that wasn't a witch.
Right. No, I don't agree with that statement. I was really dumbfounded by what he said. I was like, what do you mean werewolves? I get it now. He's obviously just saying he wasn't excited by the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Okay.
Kate, it's Kate Rules Month. Let's see what Kate has to say. I love it. Was my favorite film of the year so far. I highly recommend a second watch, as I spotted a lot of things I originally missed. Kate, I love you. I think you're wonderful. I will never rewatch this again. I genuinely despise this movie.
I will. I know I've said already on this episode I won't, but even that statement alone from Kate saying that there's things that you'll pick up on a second time round. I love stuff like that. I like watching movies and noticing things that I didn't pick up on the first time. And now I know the end game of the film when I didn't know that going in. It might make things more enjoyable for me going forward. I can't imagine it would, purely because you knew what was going to happen and you hated it. So yeah. I imagine going in for a second watch knowing it probably isn't going to make the movie any better for me, but my curiosity will probably get the better of me and I'll probably give it another go at some point, especially when it comes to streaming or something like that.
I'll be honest, this is probably something that when it goes to streaming, I'll scroll through. It'll be a year's time. I'll have forgotten all about my hate for weapons. I'll go, oh, weapons. I watched that one. So let's watch it again.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I'll give you an update. Dan loves films. Great modern Brothers Grimm tale. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Colin Firth Museum. Me and the Colin Firth Museum are like on the same page completely. Massively overrated, dull. Will never watch this again. Yes. Danny Biggin, hugely disappointing. And Beards and Movies, I'm starting to think that maybe this is your account that you've set up because you haven't grown a beard, but you like to hide behind this account. Because what I'm about to read is literally, I think you could have written this. The first two acts were a masterclass in tension, suspense, and horror. I wish I could be that scary. It lost considerable momentum in the third act for me because the antagonist reveal was ridiculous. The film shifted from pure horror to campy to Keystone Cops at the climax, and I felt cheated by a bait and switch because this was marketed as the first and second act. So the third act left me and others in the cinema going, what the fuck just happened?
Which is how I felt.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's everyone else's opinion. Real mixed bag on this. It's not clean cut. It's very, very, very divided.
Yeah. Yeah, which I'm surprised by because the response that I've heard from most people is that this was fucking awesome across the board. I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about this film up until the point when you put that post out asking for people's opinions.
Yeah, and I think it's quite interesting because we ask for people's opinions. There's lots of people who comment on our posts who don't necessarily share reviews online or don't talk about movies online. So you'll get an account like for example, the Colin Firth Museum. They don't review movies, but we give them an option and a place to give their viewpoint. And I think that's something I'm really proud that we do that because a lot of people who don't talk about movies get the opportunity to share their opinions with the world.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, really cool. We have a game. It is now becoming a trudge. Can someone please solve the fucking game? I'll play you an audio clip. There are 5 movies in this audio clip. Name the 5 movies. Call into the show by leaving a voicemail on X, a voicemail on Instagram, or by recording a TikTok and tagging us. and you will win a 6-month free subscription to Patreon at the level where you get everything. If you're already a Patreon member, you get to use and abuse me and Mark to get us to say and do kind of whatever you want within legal boundaries.
Yeah.
Mark may be willing to twist some of those legal boundaries depending on what you ask him to do. So I'm going to play the clip. This is the clip.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit!
Move! Give me a break.
So we know categorically number 1 is
Halloween Resurrection.
Number 3 is
Sleepaway Camp.
Dave knows number 4, but I'm not telling you what that is. It leaves you 2. We have had calls in since I've put this on social media. I've done that today. As we're recording now, I've done that an hour ago. We've already had 2 calls. So by the time we come round to next week, I'm hoping we're going to have some more. And I think it's going to get solved. So if you want to get in on this and you want a 6-month free subscription, enter. And I'll play the clip one more time.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit!
Move! Give me a break.
Is there any more you can pick up on?
Can I theorize?
Yeah, you shoot away.
So number 2, the what have you done? In the back of my mind, I was always thinking The Mist. For some reason, I just had The Mist in the back of my mind, and I don't know why. But now, am I thinking some sort of kind of Frankenstein's monster kind of thing? Like, what have you created? What have you done? I don't know. But then again, it could be the end of a Scream movie and the reveal of the killer.
Do you know what? End of a Scream movie is wrong, but you're kind of on the right track.
Yeah, so like the reveal of a slasher at the end of the movie kind of thing. Like,
Kinda, yeah. You're kind of there. Scream has a heavy connection to that second clip. Heavy connection.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say any more on that one then. And again, the others, I don't know, man. I mean, I had Sigourney Weaver in my mind thinking the alien one with the move. And I just can't seem to shake that. I know it's wrong because you've already said it's wrong. And then as for the last one, the rain in the background, I was just completely sold on the fact that it was Death Becomes Her. But again, I'm wrong on that. And they're not coming out anything to me. I can't get those 2 movies out of my head when I hear them.
I'm going to give a clue for the last clip as well. The last clip is a movie we have covered on this show in the last 3 months.
What does she say on the end of the last clip?
I'll play it again.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit!
Move! Give me a break.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the last 3 months.
Yeah. I'm not going to give any more information that is actually more recent than that, but in the last 3 months, we have covered that movie. We've spoken about it at length. And it's a character.
For me, I was going to go with, what's the Sam Raimi movie? We hadn't done that in the last 3 months.
No, we haven't. And again, Sam Raimi would be a huge clue to that, but we're going to move on and I'm going to round this up.
Right, okay.
Are you sat still? You brace yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to cook. People are not going to like it. I hated the first half of this movie, and I mean hated. It had so much of this had been sort of like pushed through social media, like this big marketing campaign, and I kind of knew what I was getting in the first half. But my fucking God, it was so painfully slow. If it wasn't for the show, I would have turned it off as soon as it switched from Josh Brolin. I was that disinterested. It felt devoid of personality. When it switched between characters, it broke any tension or any interest or any build-up that I had. And the missing children that are the main point of this movie become a fucking side quest as we start learning about Josh Brolin and his life and like her life and fucking the cop and what the cop's doing. Like the children are a subplot, and it annoyed me because they should have been the focal point. Like, it did pick up once we got Crazy Wong and we got the perspective of the crack addict, but the tonal shift from the first half to the second half is not a bait and switch. It's a director who clearly doesn't know what he's fucking doing, and in his own words, had no idea what this movie was going to be, even while he was fucking shooting it. The performances are fabulous across the board. Jennifer Garner, Josh Brolin, Wong, all absolutely fucking outstanding. Her performance as that sort of terrified school teacher is phenomenal. Josh Brolin as the devastated dad. I genuinely believe the pain and suffering he's going through. And I really empathize with Wong as like the administrator of the school is like, oh God, this teacher's such a pain in the ass. Like all of that, amazing. But I don't think this film deserves that caliber of performance because this film is not that good. The ending of this movie is anticlimactic. It's stupid. It's goofy. It just doesn't deliver on anything that it promised in the trailer. Instead, goes down this fucking wacky races, almost comedic tone at the end. Like I liked Barbarian. I had issues with the switch at the end, but overall I liked it. This is a massive swing and a miss. I don't get it. I don't understand what people like about it, which again is why you can call into the show and let me know. I thought it was poorly written. It promised scares, delivered no scares. It promised tension and suspense, delivered no tension and suspense. It's a really piss poor movie, really badly written, pulled together by a couple of good performances. It's a 1 out of 5. I fucking hate this movie. I'll never watch it again.
Oh, fucking hell, man. That passion didn't come through on this episode. I didn't know you hated it that much.
I was playing nice because I need the episode. We need people to listen to the episodes. And if I'm an asshole from the off and everyone loves it, like they're not going to listen. So I'm sorry. I lulled you all into a full
approach. If I hate it, I go in. I hate it.
Yeah, see, I lulled you all into a full sense of security and then cocaine bared this shit. It's fucking dreadful. I hated every minute of it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't get the score in the slightest. That is the wildest score I've ever seen for anything, regardless of the mismatching narrative. The direction and writing alone deserves higher praise than a 1 fucking star, man. That's ludicrous to me.
I thought the writing was bad.
I disagree. I don't think the writing was bad. I just think the tonal handling of it was not well managed. You know, I think I get Cregger's approach. I get what his vision is, and I get his ideas.
I'm glad you do because he doesn't know what he's fucking doing.
He does. He has a point A to point B at some point in his mind. It's just how he gets there is what he does. I think for me, like there isn't anybody who can handle stories like this other than Robert Eggers.
Yeah. If Robert Eggers directed this, completely different movie.
Really different. It'd be completely tonally different, and it would be a grittier, more realistic approach to a modern day folktale story.
And a 5-star movie.
And I'd have swallowed that pill all day long. And Robert Eggers is not somebody who I feel can handle that kind of stuff. Or at least from what he's shown me with Barbarian and what he's shown me with Weapons, I don't think he has the capabilities to execute it properly. He does something time and time again where he takes a very scary story and scary movie, such as Barbarian. The first half of that movie is fucking terrifying with Bill Skarsgård and everything that's going on with that. It's fucking perfect, man. Last half is dog shit. And I've got the same approach with Weapons. You know, the first half, 2/3 of this movie is fucking flawless. Perfectly directed, perfectly written, perfectly handled with tension, perfectly scored. I love it. I love it. And I think he's a really, really talented guy. He just fucks up that last act by incorporating these otherworldly elements into a very grounded in reality story to try and switch bait the audience. And it doesn't work because he can't handle that second half in a fulfilling way that backs up the intensity of his first half of his story. Robert Eggers could completely switch bait the hell out of this and handle it on a perfect platform.
Yeah.
Lighthouse is a perfect example. What he does in The Lighthouse is showcase of how Robert Eggers does something that Zach Cregger cannot.
Direct a movie really, really well.
No, because he does direct the movie really, really well. The movie visually looks great. Visually, the movie looks great. He's a fantastic director. I can't fault his directing at all. I think he's a visionary in terms of some of the stuff that he does and the skills that he has behind the camera. I just think he's just trying to M. Night Shyamalan the shit out of all of his movies, and he just can't do it, man. He just hasn't got the skills to be able to do that switch bait process in a fulfilling manner. You know, like in his mind, I'm sure he's like, I'm going to use a witch and this is going to blow people's fucking minds.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, you know, like we've seen it, we've had it, we've done it. And when you've got something that's so compelling and so competent before we get to that point, you just crumble everything you've built up to it beforehand.
Do you know what would have worked better? If she was an alien.
Again, it's the same thing. That's probably what we'll get in his next movie.
Yeah.
You know, and he'll handle that poorly because he'll inject comedy and stuff like that to it, and the tone will be all off. Because that's one thing I've noticed about his movies is tonally, it's a fucking up and down hill throughout. There's no consistency with placing yourself where you need to be with the atmosphere. I don't hate it like you do, and I didn't hate Barbarian like you, the same. You know, like they're both movies that I'm so in the middle of because I like 50% of them so much.
Yeah,
I dislike the other 50% that comes after, and for me, that's why this is going to get a middle of the road score. It's I also to touch on because I know I skipped over it quickly. Casting in this is fantastic. Everyone brings their A game. But in terms of score, it's going to get the same as Barbarian. It's a 2.5 out of 5. I'm so in the middle with it because there's so much that I love, but at the same time, it just equally unbalances itself with the poor choices made in the closing act.
Yeah. So this is now officially one of the lowest scoring movies of the year on the show.
Which is wild.
It is. And I'm not being funny. When this episode comes out, the amount of messages and like actual text messages that I'll get across social media calling me a fucking idiot is untold, because I get them a lot. If I slag on a movie that everyone loves, I'll get a message from a random account that I've never spoken to, but like, I've just listened to your episode, you're a moron.
Are you sure sometimes they're not referring to me?
Well, if they are, they're
behind the account as well.
Yeah, this is true, but they direct them all to me, and I take them all personally, every single one. That is it for this week of Kate Rules Month. Next week, we are back for the final episode of the month before we dive into October and spooky season. Next week, we're covering Hannibal. We may or may not have a guest, depending on how our schedules work, so I'm not going to announce the guest as yet. Next week, we may have a guest, may be awesome. We may not have a guest, will still be awesome.
I can't wait. That rounds out our Anthony Hopkins trilogy, doesn't it? Because we've done Silence of the Lambs and we've done Red Dragon.
Yeah, that'll be it.
We've still got Manhunter to do, but we'll get to that definitely because I want that on the show. But we have done Red Dragon and we have done Silence of the Lambs. Yeah,
and then we'll do Hannibal, which I love, and then we'll go to Manhunter, which is better than Silence of the Lambs, but
it's better than anything. It's the best movie ever made. I fucking love that movie so much.
But until then, don't come for me. And if you do come for me, just be aware that while I respect your opinion, doesn't matter how much you tell me I'm wrong, I'm not going to change my mind. Film is subjective, so fuck you guys. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. And now we're going to play you out with our brand new, it's our outro for the new true crime that comes back very, very soon. So see you all next week.
Peace out, bitches.
Another week, another spree. The murder, the mayhem, the depravity. They're pulling up a chair and dimming the lights. Two voices against the dark.